Hello, hello. Welcome to the Addenda series where I will take one addendum and give you a quick but detailed overview of that document. So in this video, we are going to go through the addendum regarding residential leases. So very similar to the fixture lease addendum video. If you have not watched that, stop and go back. Okay, and go watch that one too. But if you have not watched it, I described to you that the use of this document comes from paragraph 4. In paragraph 4 of your 1-to-4 family contract, it's going to ask you at the time of execution of this contract, was there or is there a residential lease intact? If the answer is yes, then you have to add the document. Whether that person is moving in, moving out, terminating the lease, or whatever the details are of that residential lease, irrelevant. Is there or was there or will there be a residential lease on that property at the time of contract? Yes or no. If it's a yes, come get the document. The rest of the details are discussed in this addendum. Okay, so let's go through it. Number one, again, is there a lease intact? Yes. If there is a lease intact, will the person be moving out or is that lease going to terminate before closing? If the answer is yes, simple, you hit A, everybody signs it at the end, and literally you're done with the document. Because whatever these other details that this document is going to discuss are irrelevant, because at the time of possession, there will be no fixture. There will be no residential lease because whoever is living there currently will be moved out by closing. Does that make sense? So as long as those people are moving out the day of closing, the day before closing, 3 months before closing, it doesn't matter. There is a residential lease on this property when I sent you the offer. It was executed. Someone is living there. The answer is yes, but they will be moving out by closing. Then you're going to mark A. Okay. If there is a lease intact when I sent the offer and it was executed, they are not moving out by the time of closing. They're not moving out. Then no problem. There must be an assignment, okay? Because at closing, possession is going to change from seller to buyer, from previous owner to now current owner. So if there is still a lease intact post closing, that lease could be for 1 week. That lease could be for a year. That lease could be for 2 years. That lease could be for 3 months. However long the lease is, that's not the answer. That's not the question I'm asking. Is the person going to be there after closing? If the answer is yes, then now the previous landlord or the previous seller is now gone and in the past. It is now a new landlord and a new owner. That buyer is now the landlord. So there must be an assignment of that lease to the new landlord. Okay. So if there's going to be an assignment, I'm clicking yes. And then you see how there's a lot of detail that we have to add after that. Okay, so let's go through it. So number one, the delivery of that lease. Yes, there's going to be an assignment. Now here's the delivery. Did the buyer receive all the copies of the lease? Give me a copy from the previous landlord to now the new landlord. I need a copy of the lease. I need to see the terms that I'm going to agree with as the new landlord. Yes, I received that copy. Okay. Or no, I did not receive that copy and I have to receive that copy within so many days, whatever amount of days that we negotiate. Okay. I'm sorry, I can terminate up after so many days that we negotiate, but I must have the lease in my hands within 3 days of the effective date. Apologies. So no, I did not receive my documents. That seller or previous landlord at this point, right, has 3 days to give me those documents. And then I have this many days to terminate this deal based on, I don't like the way that this lease is written. I don't like these terms. I like the house, but I don't like these terms. So I don't want to be the new landlord. So therefore I'm going to terminate. And I got this many days to do so after I receive them, those documents. Okay. Or the seller provides the buyer with notice of the following oral residential lease. My goodness. So if there is an oral residential lease, then the seller has to provide buyer notice of that oral lease. And then the buyer, again, I have to agree to that. I have to be good with that. Okay. All right. So that's this section. Then you come down here and these are at closing. The seller is going to transfer the security deposits again, we just talked about how the documents are going to get transferred, but now the money has to get transferred. And then and then except as described below and to seller's knowledge for residential lease, that no tenant is in default. So the seller has the previous or the current seller has to now agree that all of these things are true. If any of these things are not true, I need a detailed explanation. Why is that tenant? No tenant has prepaid any rent. If they have prepaid rent, you're going to have to explain to me what's happening and where's that money, right? If there are no outstanding claims against the seller involving the property, great. But what if there are? You're going to have to explain to me and tell me what's happening. And then again, I have to agree to all of that, buyer and seller sign. Okay. So once again, is someone living in this property when the offer is being sent and the execution of this contract has gone down? Yes. Okay. Are they moving out? Yes or no? That answer determines A or B. Are they moving out? Then it's A. If they're not moving out, then it's B. Give me the documents. I have them before we executed the contract. I've already received these documents. I have not received them. You got 3 days to give them to me. I have this many days to terminate. If there's an oral lease, you got to tell me what's going on with that and sit and write in here what the terms are, or write down that information and add the exhibit name, however you want to do it. And then down here, the seller is agreeing that all of this stuff is going to happen and that all of these things are true. If they are not, they're going to write and explain why they are not true. And again, if there's additional sheets, you can add them to this. That would be an exhibit or something like that. And then down here, everybody signs and we agree. All right. So I hope that helps.